Jude Super Duper Morning Show. We got a special guest joining us in the building. Old classmate of mine and still a good friend. Got to say good morning to Juldany Juliet. Good morning, Juldany. How you doing?
Good morning on this beautiful rainy day.
Yes. So what's up with you? I've been seeing you posting all kind of videos and pictures that you were getting ready for this competition. The competition happened over the weekend and you came back with some extra heavyweight medal.
Yes, I'm overweight.
Yeah. How you doing, Juldany?
I am awesome.
Yeah.
I am relieved it's over, but I'm excited to get back in and start all over again.
Okay, so for those who are listening that might not know you or your journey, so you are a what is the name that we say? It's a bodybuilder, weightlifter. What is it?
It is bodybuilding, but there are different classes in bodybuilding. You have the bikini wellness, physique, male physique. There's a whole range of different categories that someone could get into. So my division is called bikini wellness. Those are girls that are more glute dominant, leg dominant, the girls that can get stick thin. So they made a category that we can then dominate in.
Okay, all right. So you've been doing weightlifting, bodybuilding for
my whole life.
For your whole life, because from since you were born, your dad actually owned a gym.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have the gym for approximately 45 years now.
Wow.
I grew up. I'm the original gym rat.
Right.
There are pictures of me actually lifting weight or trying to lift something with some little Pampers on. So this is something that's been in the family for years. My aunt was a bodybuilder. My dad has been in the sport. He's been very vocal in the sport in the past.
Right.
So right now it was my turn to basically carry the torch. Yeah. The legacy lives on.
I was going to ask, what made you, get involved? Because again, you're a girly girl at heart. At still, even though you're doing all of this, you're still a girly girl. You love to get your hair done, your nails did,
of course,
all of that stuff, jewelry. Yeah,
of course. I've always been active. I mean, you know me. I've always been very athletic. I've always been involved in sports.
Competitive, everything.
Very competitive. It wasn't until this last few years, like literally 3 years, where I decided to really take a big turn because I noticed I was not in a good place mentally. I was going through a lot of demons. Yeah. I was in a dark place. I was not recognizing myself. I was low in energy. I had a lot of health issues that were starting to arise. Wow. Hypertension, and that's in the family. My back was hurting. My knees were hurting. I was just not mentally, I was not in a good place. One of my other gym colleagues, Calvin, thank you so much.
Shout out to Calvin. I think he's coming next week. We have him on the show.
He's one of them that told me, he's like, Juldany, don't go lift up that man. I was like, yeah, don't worry, man. Don't worry. I got this. He told me, he's like, go and see Dr. Diet. And I'm like, okay, Dr. Diet. It actually took a month because I'm sitting down in my own gym and I'm like motivating everybody. I was like, yeah, you could do it. You can do it. And I'm just sitting down there with zero motivation, zero energy. And it actually took a month before I said, you know what? I got tired of my own excuses, of my own not being able to move forward, and giving everybody else a boost, and I myself am not boosting myself. So I said, you know what, let me make this appointment with this man. Let's see what it's about. I made my appointment. I went to see Dr. Diet, who's located in Kupakoi. At the
so Dr. Diet is here on the island?
He's here on the island. He's international, but he's here a lot of the time. So you can get him here. You just have to schedule an appointment with him. I went, I had my consultation with him. This man put me on a scale that I still to this day believe he has manipulated to start at 10 pounds. Because no matter what I did, it was like a struggle at a certain weight. I'm like, what is it? I'm doing everything and nothing is moving. And there were a few things that he said to me that really hit hard. One, I was 275 pounds. 55% body fat, which is really scary for me. Yeah. And then he made a comment, very intense. He looked at me because he's a man of very few words. And he said, you are borderline sickness. And that really hit hard. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. He said, you continue down this road and you can fall into stroke because
Yeah.
I'm already hypertensive. You can find yourself in a whole other issues that you don't want to deal with, and you're still young.
Yeah.
I said, okay, how are we going to do this? And he was basically like, okay, let's do this as a project. Let's show people that even at a certain age, we can still make changes. It doesn't have to be this extreme,
Yeah.
but I am an extreme person, but you can make changes at any age.
Yeah.
So he designed a plan for me. I'm not going to lie and tell you it was easy. That thing was hard.
Rigorous.
Very rigorous. He tested my willpower in the beginning. I thought I was being punked to a certain extent because he would tell me, okay, come in at 7 o'clock. I want you to do cardio for 4 hours.
What?
I was like, what? I didn't make no excuses. I didn't dispute with him. I didn't comment. I didn't say anything. I just jumped on that treadmill 1 hour, elliptical 1 hour. I walked 1 hour, went back to rowing 1 hour to combine the 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then he would walk in through the corridor and be like, smiling at me. I'm like, I know you were just
You
testing
wicked
me. Yeah. I really had a lot to say, but I said, you know what? This man is known to put you through it to see if you're worthy of if you really want this. Everybody says they want it, but nobody ain't really willing to work at it.
Well, what do you think contributed to where you were? That dark place that you say you were? Was it basically just slacking off in the gym? Was it your eating habits changed?
It was a combination of a lot of things. It was coming out of a very toxic relationship.
Okay.
Not being able to complete maybe my studies the way I wanted to, the way everyone expected me to. I had a lot of pressure on me as well.
Yeah.
Not being able to be where I thought I would have been at that time. So it really did start manifesting as you're getting older, and when I hit 30, I started going through depression. I was like, oh God, what have I done with my life?
Yeah, like the clock is ticking.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. What have I done? I ain't got no kids. I'm not married. And everybody's asking these questions like, so when? So when? So there's a lot of pressure that society puts on women to either look a certain way or to be a certain place in life. And those things manifested and they start accumulating, and I'm hitting 40 and it's like, Jesus Christ, what have I done?
Yeah.
Where am I? Why am I still here? And I had to get tired of my own crap to be able to make that move. So we can all say, do it. You can do it. And yes, we can all do it.
Yeah.
We have all the tools. But it's not until that person identifies with themselves that they are ready that they will actually make that step.
True.
I can't force it on you. When you're ready, you'll know you're ready. For me, hearing those words, you are borderline sickness, is when I said, oh,
I got to do something.
we got to move. We got to move now. So it took a year to get to losing the weight. And then after that, it was, okay, let's get ready for the stage. And at that point, I'm like, you sure? We can still do this? He's like, I can do anything.
Okay.
Dr. Diet is, I'm going to tell you, hands down, that man I'm forever loyal.
Yeah.
Tip my hat off to him and his team. They are top notch, one of the best.
Yeah. So he does basically like a program fit to whatever you want to do.
Everything is custom to you. There's not one diet that you can have that will be similar to mine that will work. He's gonna sit and ask you questions. What time do you get up? What are your triggers? What are you this? How is your relationship? It's like a psychological thing he gets into you, and then he switches that beast mode on, and from there we on.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, training is hard with him. I think a lot of people who have been down there to train with the IFM team barely walk out. Yeah, it's rigorous, and I keep telling everyone he's like a psychopath. He will keep twisting your valves until he gets the best out of you. And we're moving forward.
You're a living testament.
I'm a living testament.
So was so let's talk a little bit about the competition that you just recently came from. So it's the Bikini Wellness, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Is this your first time in a competition on stage?
This is my first.
Yeah,
this has always been a dream of mine to compete. It was very difficult in the past because we have a lot of great trainers on the island, but you really need to have that relationship, that be in sync with your coach to be able to get the best out of you. And he did that. So going into this competition, we selected competitions in the past, and then he would pull back, and he's like, no, not yet, we're not ready. And then we go full steam ahead, then we pull back. So then he told me, do not announce which show you're going to do for me until we have officially registered.
Okay.
So, because I was always telling people, yeah, I'm 14 weeks out, I'm 20 weeks out, I'm there. And it never happened. And then they come back, oh, she's not going to do it. Because people, unfortunately, never want to see the best for anybody. They always want to see you at your lowest.
Yeah.
So they were laughing in my face. They were telling me all kind of craziness. But here I am.
Wow. So it took like 2.5 years of training, you said?
2.5 years, yeah. Of discipline.
Yeah.
There is no motivation in this. Motivation gas ran out long time ago. This is strictly a conditioning. Like when you condition your brain to wake up a certain time every morning, I'm conditioned to do this, eat this, do this, do this. It's hard.
Wow.
Super spoon. They're hard.
But it paid off.
Hard.
Paid off.
I walk in my house, I see dominoes. I'm like, like these people really testing my patience at this time, especially my sister.
So what would be your basically? I mean, every day is different, but what would be like basically? Are you eating like 3 times a day, 4 times a day?
I eat 6 times a day.
Okay.
I have a few snacks in between, but my food consists mostly of fish, cod. Cod.
Stick it out.
Tired of that stuff. Cod, asparagus. Like he designs the plan according to your blood type, your activity level, your goals. What do you want to do? Do you have to gain weight? Do you have to add size? You know. So then sometimes he might throw in a steak in there for me. I rarely saw chicken, but it was mostly fish and steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
It is.
And lots of water, I'm sure.
Oh, I had about 2 gallons a day.
Wow, 2 gallons a day.
2 gallons, but I sweat profusely. Like it's almost as if somebody left a whole pool in the gym when I leave. I see girls on Instagram, oh, beautiful made up.
After work, I'm like, you sure you work out? Yeah.
Your face full beat. And here I am looking like, my mom's like,
dog water.
What are you guys doing in the gym? My mom's like, your gym clothes look like you're rolling on the floor. Like, well, technically that's what we do. Roll on the floor after you're done every set because it's that bad.
Yeah. So for you to get prepared for this specific competition, what were some of the major parts that you had to work on? Was it like, because like you said, your glutes, mainly legs, arms, that type of stuff, right?
One thing with me, I'm very shoulder dominant. I have very big shoulders, and my calves and my shoulders, they respond super quick.
Okay.
My abs responds quick. The hardest part was my back. And right now we're working on getting the quads and the glutes even tighter, more conditioned. I want them bigger.
Okay.
I want them so big that when I walk in the next show, you'll be like,
you got to walk in the sideways.
I got to walk in sideways just for the legs and the glutes. But so getting ready for this, it was really it's a leg focused division. So you really have to put pressure on legs and glutes because that's what they're looking for in that beautiful hourglass symmetry. You can't be too big at the top. You still have to maintain femininity, but they really do want to see that leg dominance. Yeah. Like a Brazilian. Those Brazilian girls are, they dominate that category.
Yeah. So you're over 40. Were you one of the oldest ones at the competition?
No.
No, okay.
They were 60 plus, man.
Wow.
Walking around in thongs. I tip my hat off to those ladies because they are inspiration. At 60 and you doing this and you putting yourself through that kind of training. The fact that you're still moving at that age is like, wow, you know, because they were like, one of the ladies said, what do you want me to do? Sit home and wait to die? I said, that's a good point. Yeah. You know, so I really tip my hat off to anybody going into the sport. It's not too late. They start masters at 35, and then there's 40, then there's 50, then there's 60, and then there's open class. Open class, you're basically on a line with 20-year-olds. Right. So I'm on a line with a 20-year-old next to me, and I'm like, how do I compete with a 20-year-old? You know, her genetics and her youth, they have that upper hand above me. But if my coach says, you can, I'm like, I trust the process.
Okay. Let's talk about some of your winnings, your big medals, because SMG was on the plane with you actually when you guys were coming back, and she said she kept hearing this clanging.
Man, that thing was so annoying. Yeah. But it was also so heavy. So I won my second place in open B class. That's lining up next to a 20-year-old again. I won 3rd place masters and 5th place novice. Now, the weird thing with the novice category, it was supposed to be intended for women, or for people who have never done a show.
Okay.
That was not the case at this show. These girls had 3-4 shows under their belt already. So you're really going up against experience.
Right.
So I said, all right, well, it's a dog fight. So right now we're getting ready to go back into the slaughterhouse, as I call it.
You're going back again.
We're going back in on
Do
Monday.
you have any off weeks at least before you go back, or?
I mean, this is my off week.
This is your off week.
Yeah, this is my off
So
week.
what was the first thing? Okay, after the competition was over, all right, Dr. Diet, come on, give me a break. Let me have something. What was the first thing that you ate that wasn't part of the diet?
A pizza. And
Pizza.
it was so funny because I was in my mind, I was like, I want to eat 7
whole
pizzas of
thing,
myself. I had half a slice of pizza.
And that was it.
And my stomach was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm tired. I want to go home and sleep. But what really was my favorite thing was a ginger ale.
Sugar.
A ginger sugar boy. Because he starts pulling water out of your system and drying you out from the flight. So you see me going to the bathroom all the time, like, I just want liquids.
Yeah.
And that ginger ale tasted like the next coming of Jesus. That was the best thing ever. Nothing better than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take
Okay.
nothing better than a ginger ale.
All right. So what's the next comp? You're not going to say it until you register like the last one.
We are doing 2025.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Dr. Diet to get back. So that we're already having conversations about the planning for next year. I just need to know how realistic we are, and then we will select a show, and then we work towards. And then as we're nearing the show, we will see if it's really gonna happen, or if we're gonna have to deviate and go further out and get some more time to grow the legs. Because for this show coming, this experience was eye-opening, huge. I've learned a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think now for the next one coming, I know exactly where I have to tighten up and how I'm going to have to come correct. Yeah. And I am coming correct.
How important do you see? I mean, you've been around it all your life, but how important is this sport? Because a lot of people don't see it as a sport of bodybuilding, especially here on the island. We have a lot of different representatives. Shout out to Cleo doing her thing. We have Allison. We have right now, what's the lady again from WIB?
Modien.
Modien.
Yes,
and then you have Calvin just recently came back as well.
You have
Then
Kevon,
you have Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, Levy just went to CAC. Shout out to her. She did awesome there. It is, people don't look at it as a sport. It's a very selfish sport. It is a sport. No matter how you look at it. We are athletes. At the end of the day, you have to perform. You have to train. You have to discipline your mind. And you have to love pain to be able to pull this off. So for those that think it's not a sport, that's not true. This is it's a multi-million-dollar sport.
Right.
People are trying to get into this at any level. It's not easy, but it is very important. The discipline that you learn in a prep phase doesn't just stay with you there. It takes you into the rest of your life. So if you can pull off this discipline, this prep, and execute it to your at least 100%, you can take that same mentality and apply it to anything in life. Any aspect of your daily activities. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding. Bodybuilding saved me because now I learn a little more about myself. But that discipline, it really tests, and this is what I'm capable of. I can do this. So now going into anything I want to do, if I want to open a business, if I want to, whatever I want to do, now I know, hey, this is what it takes, the mindset.
And the discipline.
The discipline is what you learn. And once you have that, man, anything else can happen. If you can put yourself through this, everything else is easy. Yeah. So it is a very important sport. I'm seeing this is the biggest year right now for St.Maarten in bodybuilding.
I see that,
because we've had a lot of people going out internationally.
And doing good too.
And doing really well. So shout out to the St.Maarten Bodybuilding Association. This is our biggest year. We've had so many athletes in a long time. So I'm very curious to see what's the next direction that they're going to take with, developing the federation and how it's going to... We are recruiting people. There's always people who are interested in knowing more about the sport. I know they're going to be at the expo on Saturday. So you can definitely pass by the booth and ask all the questions you want. There's a lot of things that, can't cover in a little interview like this, but there's a lot of information that you need to know before entering the sport.
Right. Now I know besides, time and energy, it takes a lot of money as well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Listen, you want me to give you an approximation of what this costs?
Sure, go ahead.
For a show, one show, it can take you between $3,500 and $4,000.
Yeah.
Just one person, one show.
Is that just registration?
Just to get to the show. We're
Okay.
talking about airfare,
hotel,
registration, tanning, makeup, hair, all that jazz, and then you have your suit. A swimsuit can range you from $400 to $1,200 easy. Yeah, all of those little things. Food, because even when you're there, we spent a lot of money on food.
On food, right.
Because Dr. Diet was like, no, you need to eat this. You got to stay on your plan.
Are you like, I on not vacation,
No,
but
no vacation.
I somewhere else, man. Come, man.
No. You know, he look at you and be like, what did we come to do?
Little Red Lobster on the road.
What did we come to do? Yeah, so it's very expensive, and that's just a show. Prepping to the show will take money, because a good coach, Dr. Diet, is not cheap, but he is one of the best.
Yeah.
So getting a good coach will cost you. Food for your entire season will cost you.
And I was going to ask, when it comes to food, because I'm sure food here is even more expensive because we import.
Yes.
Import a lot, so yeah.
Yeah, food is mad expensive. I think on a weekly range, I think I spend about maybe $250, $300 a week. A week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Shout out to my sponsors for making all of that possible. Yeah, it is. You need a village to be able to pull this off. So anyone getting into the sport, listen, you got to have strong willpower. You got to have discipline, motivation, and money.
There you go. So what's the next step for you besides the next competition? Do you want to start doing a little bit more? Like you said, you were out there motivating everyone, but then you got the opportunity to now motivate yourself. Maybe you want to go out there and maybe start coaching, and not only just to, bodybuilding, but just so people can start, taking care of themselves. Not only physically, but mentally as well, which is a very, very important part of this.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important. I mean, I still battle a lot of things daily, but it's a work in process. Right now, for me, I'm not going to be coaching anyone at the moment. I'm still a work in process. But if anyone has any questions or they want advice or anything, I'm always willing to answer. I'm here to help anybody. I'm hoping the purpose of this journey was to hopefully somebody can take or see themselves in where I was, 275 pounds, and transforming your life completely into something else.
Yeah.
So it went from a moth to a butterfly. But that's the purpose for me at this moment. Right now, I still need to focus on my training and my continuous development. Anyone wants a link to Dr. Diet and sit and have a consultation with him, just shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I will definitely share the link with you. And then you just register. But for me personally, at the moment, I still need to focus one more year on myself before I can actually take on anyone. I'm still a work in process. I'm still learning. There's a lot of little tricks to this thing about learning about food, learning about training. Everything that I thought I knew, I had to put it outside.
Okay.
Because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
If I sit and I watch how those people operate, how that team over there operates, I basically had to scratch it off. Like, didn't know anything. We're going to start from scratch now.
Yeah.
So learning foot placements, hand placements, like movements, execution is critical. You could lift as heavy as you want. I don't care, but you're not going to get anything out of that.
Right. And how's the reaction or the feedback been from your dad? Because I know, like you said, from young, I don't think he didn't really like force you into this, right? No. You just grew up around it.
It's so funny. My dad told me, Juldany, you don't have to do this,
Yeah.
For me, you won already. I don't know if he didn't want me on a stage with a little bikini on.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
fathers are very protective.
That's his daughter. Yeah,
exactly. But he knows the sport. He knows what it takes. But he never said anything to me directly, but he says it to everyone else. So he will never tell me. Yeah, my family is a little weird like that. They will never give us credit. But behind me, I know that they are doing it because people are like, yo, your father's so proud of you.
Yeah.
My God. He's like, wow, she really got that done. Like, this is hard. Like, people don't understand how hard this transformation is. Losing 5 to 10 pounds to some people is torture.
Yeah.
So imagine coming from that to where I am now. It's like, hopefully, like, guys, you can do this. Just put your mind to it. I pass everybody on Nowhere Special strip every night when I'm coming from the gym, and I see them shaking that thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just go home.
Yeah, right.
And eat your cod and just
Keep driving.
and keep driving.
Tomorrow we got to do it again.
We got to do this again.
So you're training 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Wow.
7 days a week.
How many times a day?
So my mornings is fasting cardio, and then in the evening, like around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So that's when the real stuff starts to happen. And even so, before that, I still have to do an extra maybe 15, 20 minutes of warm-up cardio, whatever it is he wants us to do, and then we start.
And you're doing all of this, and you still have your regular day that you have to go through.
Where people are like, how do you get time? Well, I had to isolate some things off my list. So there's no outing, there's no this, there's no that, in order to make time for your goals. You know, you can't do everything. We can't do everything. We're not super people.
True.
So you have to decide what is priority.
So how did you deal with Carnival? Because I know you love Carnival. How you dealt with Carnival too?
Me? Carnival?
I thought you were with Carnival.
Boy, let me tell you
Oh,
something.
no, that's the other sister.
That's the other sister.
Morning, Sharon.
Sharon, her sabor Latino. You know, Sharon is in that kind of village.
Right.
No, you really have to prioritize. What do you want? Do you want this? Then we have to cut this.
That's right.
You know, so I have a busy schedule like everyone. You're like, yeah, but you ain't got no children. Yes, I do. I got 4 dogs.
That dog, I was just going to say.
And those are children. My parents are like 2 children. My sister, who's like my other child, and my niece, who's my other child. So I have everybody, and I'm the eldest, so everyone is like on your back. Like, you know, they depend on you to do everything.
Yeah.
So, I have to balance my day.
Right.
Everything I do in my day is strategically placed at timing to execute this process.
Speaking about on your back and balancing, you ready? Bench press me, spoon. How are we doing this?
Well, listen, let me tell you something. I got some calls. I got some phone calls.
Don't do it.
That warned me. They're like, Juldany,
Don't go, Jay.
I'm going to be downstairs if you need me to help you out.
How much can you bench press?
I don't bench press.
Oh, you don't?
We don't do chest.
Okay.
My coach does not do chest. He really does think that women should remain feminine. So everything we do, like even movements with your arms, shoulders, back, you're still engaging your chest at some extent, but we don't train chest.
Okay.
We squat. Now, if you want to squat,
So how much can you squat?
Boy, let's just say it depends.
Okay.
It depends on how much food I ate. And if I had good carbs, and it depends on that pre-workout. Oh my God, that's like my saving grace, because I will turn into an ox for you.
Right.
And
now that's another thing, because you mentioned carbs, and I know a lot of people when they want to do a diet or whatever, I got to stay away from carbs, no bread, no this, no that.
Oh yeah, no bread.
Right.
No bread.
So what are some type of carb? But like you said, everybody is different. So what
Correct.
works for you might not work for them. But
So carbs for me is potatoes, sweet potatoes. I did have a little bit of basmati rice every now and then. My schedule and my diet changes on a weekly basis. So he will look at you. My coach is like a scanner. I think he needs to work for the airport and scan people, because that man is on point all the time. He'll watch you from head to toe, watching coming in from the cameras. Yeah. You need to carb up. Oh, yeah. Pull out carbs. Oh, yeah. How's your diet going? And when he asks you, how's your diet going?
you know somewhere you messed up.
You know,
He caught it.
My stomach bloated. So you see us coming in with big t-shirts on. Usually we come in with really cute little outfit.
Right.
No, we're not big t-shirt. Come on with questions.
I know we're over time, but I have to ask this question because, like you said, with bodybuilding, you have the men and the women. But I think it might be a little bit more difficult for women because, as a woman, you're also going through your monthly as well. So these are different things that you have to deal with, I'm sure. No.
I have not, and I'll be honest with everybody, I haven't had that in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So because of my drastic weight loss, my cycle basically stopped.
Okay.
I get my regular checks with a good team of doctors that I have. But we go through some stuff. Like those women that go through the monthly, I had that in the beginning, but once you start dropping the weight as the way I dropped it,
your body changes as well.
Yeah, the hormones change.
Oh, that's
everything
interesting.
changes. Yeah. And it's not that I'm in menopause. I'm not in menopause, people.
Yeah.
It's just I checked. I have eggs. My gynecologist was like, "You sure you want a baby?" I was like, "Stop it! I'm 44. Where are we going with this?" But yeah, it makes a big difference. Some women will have that that issue, but we go through it still. In the beginning, when I still had my cycle and everything going normal, we train with that.
Wow.
There was no off days. There was no day that I can say, Coach, I ain't got my thing. Yeah? Okay, go start running.
Coach, it's Christmas.
I tell my coach, I said, Coach, my back hurts. Okay, good. Let's go do back extension.
Make it hurt more.
I said, yo, you guys told me my back hurts. Yeah, he is amazing. He is amazing.
Oh, wow. And like you said, no off days. So for 2.5 years, you basically kept strict.
Straight.
So what happened if you did, let's say, mess up?
Took an off day?
Yeah.
Easily corrected. Because an off day for me, even if I decide if I have a headache or something happens, you know, it's not that I can't pick it up the next day. But when you're in a prep phase of like about 8 weeks out from a show, that you gonna have to. There were days, I didn't want to even jump in the car. I was like so tired. My dad was like, oh my God, you look tired.
Right.
Shout out to SXM Injector for Botoxing me and snatching my face. But yeah, you go through a lot. There are days that you don't even want to jump, you don't even want to see the gym. But honestly, when you get there and you start training and you have such a wonderful environment and a great supportive team around you, listen, you are happy you actually showed up. It's everything else doesn't matter.
All right. Juldany Juliet here with us this morning.
We'll see him in the gym soon.
Shout out to Juliet's Gym. 45 years you guys have been around, right?
45 years, yes. Wow. I got to shout out my sponsors, the Goya Group, did by Josa. She had my hair on fleek. You know, Divine Jewelry, she dripped me from Swarovski from head to toe. So everything you see in my pictures, it was either real or Swarovski.
All right.
So, yes. And I have so many other people to thank, but they have my my post, so they'll see it.
All right. Well, thank you, Juldany, for coming through. We will not do the squats with me on your back today. We'll save that after the next competition.
He's scared I drop him.
But congratulations to you, and big ups on your medals. You're walking around just clinging and clanging. The airport security was fine with you walking in with that? You didn't get charged extra?
I was scared.
Yeah?
I was scared.
But those are big.
Yeah, they're big.
And they're pretty heavy.
And they're very heavy, yes. But I was scared. I thought they were going somewhere.
How did you feel when they said, I mean, you didn't come in first place, but the fact that you competed, that's what you wanted to do, basically.
You know, the idea was, we knew we weren't going to maybe walk away with everything because the plan was always touch a show. Let's get experience. Let's get over the stage fright. This is part of the process so that your next show, you come in even more confident, more better. I mean, there's a lot of things I learned, but the idea was never we're going to walk away with this show. We know we were up against. So the idea was more, hey, let's get experience. Let's get comfortable. Let's feel how it's going to go. And then now the work begins. The hard part is over. All that stuff that I had to shed off is gone. Now we start working.
All right, there you go. Juldany Juliet, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Got one more question. Question of the day, facebook.com/laser101. Today's Halloween. So, what are some of your favorite horror movies to watch, if you do watch horror movies?
I'm a banned from horror movies.
Yeah?
Yeah, the movies banned me from watching horror movies because apparently I get scared from just the suspense music. And then I start screaming the place and everybody starts screaming at the same time because they didn't expect it. And then the thing happens. And then it's like,
you killed the moment.
Get out. Get out. So they don't want me in the movies. My favorite horror movie will be The Exorcist.
Exorcist. Okay. All right. Thank you, Juldany. Keep up the great work. And, yeah. All right.